Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well and safe. My name is Michael Day. I'm a graduate from Athlone IT from the Sports Science and Exercise Physiology class 2011-2015, and I'll just be talking today in the graduate seminar series. So just a little introduction. My current role is a health and performance nutritionist, and I'm also a year 2 master's student in the clinical nutrition and dietetics at UCD. From my experience of AIT, as I was saying, I was part of the first sports science with exercise physiology class from 2011 to 2015. Received great guidance on the current and emerging evidence in the field of sports science and how to apply that in the real world, and developed great friendships and professional connections, which have remained and grown further since my graduation. Just a little journey to my current study area and my current career. So throughout my 4 years at Athlone IT, I developed a keen interest in nutrition and how it impacts health and performance. So from the modules that I learned from year 1 all the way to year 4, just developed that interest in nutrition and did my final year project on pre-exercise nutrition strategies as well in middle distance runners. So that's how it stemmed. And since graduating in 2015, I've worked with people and teams from my hometown in Headford in Galway, helping them improve their health and physical performance. And this has allowed me to become more confident at applying evidence-based practice. So when I finished up in 2015, as I was saying, my interest was more so in nutrition than maybe the sports science area. So that's what I wanted to get into, but I still have a massive interest in the sports science area, keeping up to date with it and trying to apply it to the people of my hometown. This just allows me to build connections with them. It allows me to use the emerging evidence and an evidence-based approach to develop males and females from adult teams all the way through to the youth athletes in the club, and just all the different teams around Headford as well. And I do all this for free. I find this just a great way of building connections within my own town. It has led me to get a lot of great insights into where I could get work in nutrition, and meeting people that I never thought I'd meet as well. It also allowed me to just implement things that maybe should have been done when I was younger that people didn't know about, just trying to give a helping hand to coaches as they're going through of what type of training younger athletes should be doing just to help them develop as best they can. So when I finished in 2015, I actually went shadowing a clinical dietitian who actually worked as a performance nutritionist within the Galway GAA as a senior Galway hurlers nutritionist. And that was from 2016 to 2017. I actually met her through the connections I made within my hometown. As I said, I was working with the teams, and it was through a friend of their friend. Got on well with them, and they introduced me. And this was the best decision that I've made when I went to actually shadow her, because I got to see that this was the area that I wanted to go into. And I could also see that I could still keep my hand in the sports nutrition side of things as well, which is what I really wanted to do. I didn't want to fully leave the sports nutrition side of things. But I got to see the clinical area and how much of an impact you can have as a dietitian in that area to people's health and recovery. So in 2017, 2018, I completed a master's in human nutrition at Ulster University Coleraine. So I'd applied to dietetics around Ireland. Unfortunately, didn't get into any of those, but I got offered a place in the course in Coleraine for the master's in human nutrition. In hindsight, something that I should have done, which is something I've done now, is I should have emailed the head of each course and tried to go and meet them face to face. I did this for my UCD course, and the feedback I got from the head of the course was that it was great to put a face to the application, and you don't often see that. So something I probably should have done in 2017, 2018, I probably would be finished my dietetics course by now. Might have given me a helping hand, or even I would have just got good feedback on what I need to do going forward to get into these courses. So since September 2018, I've worked as a health and performance nutritionist under the name Day to Day Health with several teams and colleges. So in Athlone IT, I may have worked with a few of you, giving one-to-one dietary advice for performance goals or health goals. Just to try to, there's so much misinformation within nutrition, especially online and everywhere we're looking these days, just trying to bust a few myths and try and get rid of that misinformation out there and try and help them along to reach their goals. I've worked with Galway GAA through all from senior to underage levels for the football and hurling teams, and also worked with NUIG and multiple of clubs around Galway, just helping them out, giving dietary advice and doing different workshops. So I started my MSc in clinical nutrition and dietetics at UCD in January 2020, and this time next year I'll hopefully be finished up my degree. So the AIT course and my current role, so completing my degree has given me the knowledge that I can apply in practice, improving the health and performance of individuals of all levels. Also, it has helped my own performance going forward and my development. This course sparked my interest in nutrition, leading me to where I am today, which is something I'm eternally grateful for. I built up great relationships with staff at AIT that has led me to work there occasionally over the past 2 years. As I've said, I've come in maybe 3 or 4 times each year, doing one-to-one talks. Usually it was face-to-face, now it's over Zoom, just helping out the athletes there in the sports scholarship scheme with just a bit of dietary advice. And just my advice to you is build relationships with staff in your field and be sound. So I wouldn't be the quickest learner. It would take me a bit of time, but I would have put a lot of emphasis on my interpersonal skills and building relationships with the people I've met. This has stood me in really, really good stead, because the people that you're building the relationships, be it the staff in your field, they're the ones with the connections already. And if you're making good connections with them, they're going to remember you. And it could be a few years down the line, when you come and ask for a bit of help, and they're going to remember that, and they are going to give you that help. And that has led me to come back and work in Athlone IT just from the staff that I knew there. They brought me back in again to help out. So definitely just build those relationships. They're the people with the connections in that professional field, and just be sound. They're going to remember you for that. Get the practical experience in the area that interests you. It's the best way to build professional connections and find out what it is you want to do. So as I said, I went and shadowed a clinical dietitian for free, just off my own back, just to get that experience. I built a really good connection with her. And once I'd done that, and once I'd finished my degree up in Coleraine, she took me on straight away to help her out. And that's where all my work came from then. That's where it all just took off. So would highly recommend. It might seem hard just doing voluntary work now. We're all thinking about trying to get a bit of money, but it does pay off in the end if you get that, make those connections, use your interpersonal skills. And the third one then, be the master of your air codes. So this was something, probably the best bit of advice that I've ever gotten. And essentially what it means is you want to be the person within your townland or your air codes that people think of when they want to get, be it advice on their exercise or nutrition or psychology, whatever role you're going down. Do this for free. Again, it'll be worth it in the end, doing that bit of work, building those connections. You never know where it might lead to. It's definitely been something that's led to so much work for me. Fourth, if you're interested in working in sports nutrition, I'd aim to complete a master's in dietetics. It gives you job security, and you cover the majority of sports nutrition topics, and you also build the behavior change skills, which is vital. So what I'd be saying to you there is, yes, like the job security is a brilliant thing that you can get from it. And again, you're covering so much of sports nutrition. And if it's something that you really want to go into later on in sports nutrition, there are masters that you can do part-time. But I would recommend doing the dietetics first. I'm finding that I've worked within Sports Ireland on my placement, and I've seen a lot of the sports nutritionists there are actually clinical dietitians as well. So the reason behind that is because those behavior change skills, they've learned the behavior change skills, which are so important when you're trying to get any change, to be with athletes or with anyone in general population. So it's all well and good having the information and the knowledge of what works, but how do you actually apply that to a person and get them to change? What do you have to do? So having that degree in dietetics has definitely improved my behavior change skills and work, and it's definitely been a twofold thing that, yes, it works within the general population, but I'm finding in my sports nutrition work, I'm getting a lot more good feedback from people that are doing really well because I have those behavior change skills built up. And the fifth one is just don't rule out anything. I went in year one into sports science thinking I'm just going to be working in sport. That's all I want to do, regardless of what sport it is. Now all I want to do is work in the clinical population and do a small bit of sport, something I would have completely put myself not wanting to do when I went into college first. Also, when I was in third year and fourth year, research was the last thing I wanted to do. I'm getting a lot more interest in that now. So just look, don't rule out anything. Build up those relationships with people. You never know, in a few years' time, you might go into something that you never thought you wanted to go into. So keep your options open, keep your mind open. And just thanks for having me on, and best of luck with the rest of your studies, and stay safe and healthy. And hopefully I'll see you in the near future. Thank you very much.